Hello people. Welcome to Sales Academy webinar. So in comments that you have here in YouTube on the right side, please let me know. Hey, tell me please if you hear me well. Hello again, everyone. So now I will show how the webinar will look like. This is the YouTube broadcast that you will see. Here is the window for comments, so please write your comments. During the webinar itself, I will not be able to see your comments, but it will be 2 blocks in between the webinar when I will stop presentation and open your questions, if you have any questions, to answer them. So yes, write them down whenever you have questions. Try please not to write very many comments, just questions, so I can easily find them when there is space for questions. And yeah, that's pretty much it. 1 more minute and we are starting. If you cannot write comments, if you cannot see this window to write comments, then most probably you are not logged into YouTube. So check it. Everyone who has Gmail account can connect it to YouTube. So it's not complicated. Okay, tell me please now if you hear anything that I'm telling. Hello, hello. Tell me please if you hear what I'm telling. Okay, that's a very interesting thing. So when I present, you don't hear, but when I am not presenting, you do hear. Okay, let's try one more time. Agiriki and Lucas, please. I'm trying to turn on presentation. In case you don't hear when I turn on presentation, let me know in WhatsApp. Let's try again. That's a very weird thing. Okay, let's go. So we are coming back. And tell me, do you hear me now? Okay, hello Ashwin. Do you hear me now when I'm sharing my screen? Okay, we can hear. Amazing. So let's finally start. Good. So one more time for me. Okay. Global volunteer product in our portfolio. Welcome to ICX Sales Academy. We start for Amazing IGV Functional. Hello everyone, my name is Sasha. I'm MCVP IGV. Very happy to be with Lupus IGV Functional, a part of this amazing functional, and hope to see every one of you in HEDCO, every team and member of Amazing IGV. So today will be all about Global Volunteer as a product, as a concept, about our ISEC in Greece portfolio in IGV, and we'll finish with global timeline. So let's move to first point, which is definition of global volunteer. Global volunteer is an opportunity for a young person to develop leadership qualities while living a cross-cultural volunteering experience. In the product, the young person volunteers abroad on social impact projects that contribute to sustainable development goals. So this definition is very important for us since from 2016, it includes the part about sustainable development goals. Previously, we had simply impact projects. Why? Why now we are supporting SDGs? That's because ISEC is a part of initiative which is called Youth for Global Goals. And from now on, Global Volunteer is every project which does not support SDGs, which has not in agenda and syllabus of a project SDG awareness and SDG actions, is not a true Global Volunteer project. And that's something what we need to understand, and that's something for which we did whole refreshment of our IGV portfolio, which I will be talking next. So Youth for Global Goals is an initiative run by United Nations in partnering with ISEC. An initiative that aims to activate young people to contribute towards the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals, and referred to as the Global Goals and Agenda of 2030. So what does it mean? Youth for Global Goals is all about 3 steps how to activate people, how to activate youth to work about SDGs. It's awareness, understanding, and action. These 3 steps are referred to our products, not only Global Volunteer. So, for example, first step, which is awareness, is OPS in case of Global Volunteer, and also some marketing activities which we do in social media, like, for example, changing cover photo with the logo of Youth for Global Goals, etc. Then the next step is understanding. Understanding are our Youth Speak forums, is IPS and beginning of experience for Global Volunteer. And then the last step is action. Action is actually the 6 weeks experience that our volunteers are living in our case in Greece, to contribute to SDGs, because all our projects must support SDGs, as was in previous slide. So for every one of you, I strongly encourage you to get to know more under this link, all about Youth for Global Goals campaign, social media campaigns, etc. How does it work, and why this initiative was created. So as I told, every IGV in every country supports, or at least in this year, transformed to support one of 17 global goals. And a matter of interesting fact, 50% of GV opportunities around the world are under SDG number 4, quality education. We also had SDG number 4 project, which is Young Power, which is now a little bit under consideration whether we can run it. And the other fact is no country run projects under SDGs 2, 6, or 7, which is zero hunger, clean water and sanitation, and affordable and clean energy. Maybe it's going to change, countries are developed fast, but as for now, majority is under SDG number 4. Next, very popular are 10, reduce inequalities, and 8, decent work and economic growth. What is global volunteer from the perspective of our customer? And that's important for us to build a skeleton, let's say, of our product. So value proposition for youth, it's a cross-cultural volunteer experience for young people who seek to develop themselves and the world by contributing to the SDGs. So as you see, even in our communication, SDGs should be mentioned. And value for our partners, it's a make a local impact with global volunteers. So with those from abroad who can make a change for your organization. And it's a cross-cultural volunteer experience which allows organization to bring your young people from all around the world to the social impact projects. Which social impact projects, in most of cases for our partners, are for them to develop the organization or to develop children or youth who is working or who is a part of this organization. So it's also impact for partner itself. Our partners are NGOs, schools, or other institutions. In our case, it's kindergartens, playgrounds, and many others. Duration is 6 to 12 weeks. Yes, it happened that GV experience is longer than 6 weeks, though majority is for 6 weeks. Stipend means whether it's paid or not, so GV opportunities are not paid, though we should provide hosting and or transportation, meals, depends on opportunities. In our case, we provide hosting. Primary purpose is the one that we already discussed, different types of volunteer experience to support pretty much SDGs and impact on society. So this is what global volunteer is. Why it's important for us, first of all, to know what we are selling, so to know what we are coming to our partners with, and not ever communicate global volunteer as a cheap volunteers to work in your NGO organization, etc., because this is something what contributes to SDGs, to impact for society, and to personal development of volunteers. This is something what we tend to forget when we are selling it to partners, but for many of them, and for us especially, development of our volunteers is one of key elements in whole the process and whole the project. So we can never forget it, even during selling. So let's get to know what is our IGV portfolio as ISEC in Greece. After this block will be a round of questions, let's say. So if you have any questions regarding the first part, remember them or write them down already in comments, so I will answer them once we finish our portfolio. So IGV portfolio in ISEC in Greece is already aligned with SDGs and Youth for Global Goals, as Youth for Global Goals initiative says. So we have 3 projects which we will be running for winter peak. For summer, there would be also some additional projects. We have International Kindergarten, Young Power in Action, and NGO for Change. As you see, all those projects were existing before. What we were doing in the last 2 months with my amazing NSTs, and especially with hard work of Evangelia, was to refresh all of them, which I will be talking soon about. And as you can see, International Kindergarten changed its beautiful logo. So our 2 projects, Young Power in Action and International Kindergarten, support SDG number 10, and NGO for Change support SDG number 17, Partnerships for the Goals. What was a refreshment? As I told, it was a process of aligning projects to SDGs. So since SDGs itself were presented in year 2015, and that year representative of ISEC signed agreement with UN about cooperation regarding ISEC supporting global goals. It means that we do not scratch all the projects and start close all the previous projects and start from the beginning creating new. But one of the possibility is to take the existing project, and change it and refresh it to SDGs. So that was exactly something what we were doing in summer. Why it was done? So first, aligning our projects to SDGs targets. One of points, if you have ever visited SDG page, you have under every SDG targets, so some measurable targets and indicators, measurable key performance indicators, how we can measure that actually SDGs are achieved or not. Every project should be also aligned to SDG targets. Next, to make projects which are relevant for our society. Our projects that we have were not refreshed since several years, which means that in fastly changing situation in the world and in Greece, we need to also make review and refreshment of our projects to see whether they are still needed in Greece and whether they still bring the impact and how we can change them to bring it more. Then to create a way of refreshment, to create
Hey, do you hear me, people? Please write in comments. I'm checking it. Yes, my face was funny, I know. Write me, please, in comments if you hear me well. Okay, Lucas, yes. Anyone else? Yes, okay, awesome. I have no idea what happened, but apparently we need to have in MC some training training about how to use all this online stuff. Okay, I'm coming back to the presentation. Okay. Do you see the presentation? Yes, yes. Okay. So we see the presentation and you hear me? Good. Let's proceed with our presentation. So the refreshment of projects was done. What was the process of no screen? Okay, do you see the screen now, Angeliki? Guys, let me know please if you see the presentation, if you see the shared screen. Okay, yes, good. Let's move forward. So the process of refreshing our project was not so complicated in steps, though it took some time. So first it was research analysis, the research in customer about how it what should be the impact of projects for every of our partner, what SDGs it should support, what are the issues of Greece in general, and also analysis of how the project worked previously. For example, what JDs were efficient, what not, and the other statistical analysis. Then we did SDG alignment and from scratch creating idea of projects. So what actually should this project support? What actually should be done in this project? And then the last step was creating job description. So based on whole SDG alignment, most of it I will show today. Evangelia was creating job description. So what week per week, day by day, EPs are supposed to do in order to both support needs of our partners and work for SDGs. So let's see the first two projects, International Empowering. You can find more whole explanation of the process and how the project look like now in here. So International Kindergarten and Young Power in Action support the same SDG, SDG number 10, reduce inequality, and the same target. By 2030, empower and promote social, economic, and political inclusive for all. So how we decided on this? We made analysis of Greece. One of them, which was very obvious and which we saw after analysis of data, was that Greece faces raising of violence towards immigrants, towards people of other, towards refugees and people of other races. So this is one of indicators that in society exists racism. Why we found this exactly indicator? Because just to say that there is racism in country is not enough. It should be some proof of it. So this is one of them. Then we digged into what is the problem tree. So what are the reasons why this problem exists in society? You can find deeper in here, but one of them are xenophobia and fear of people of another countries, discomfort with many refugees that came in last years, and ignorance to problems, which is pretty much the way that we were raised, not to care so much about problems of others. So this made us understand that impact of these two projects should be to bring to children understanding that people from other countries should be also respected, are the same. So pretty much cultural understanding. And this is what is the project. This is called Design for Impact, this whole form. And this is what the idea of project is. So our impact is supporting target 10.2, which I presented to you. And what we want to change in what is our outcome, which means long-term change. Is number of violent attacks towards people from another countries decreased. So it's some outcome which we want for society. What is the output of our projects, which is mid-term ambition for our project? So what exactly we as AIESEC by our project bring to, and it can be measured in short time. It's that kindergarten and in Young Power in Action, older children develop tolerance to people from other countries and learned about foreign cultures. Key activities in these projects, both are 6-week projects. Key activities are doing activities associated with cultural understanding, moderating presentations, playing with children, and supporting teachers with their daily activities. Milestones are EPs presenting countries, celebration of global village, teamwork activities. This is a very brief explanation of whole project idea. As you can see, most important for us is and why this design for impact is so good and so useful for us is because we can actually use it to in order to sell, to present what our project is. We know what we want to do, why we do this project, and what we want to change in society. Not some fluffy words that we want to impact racism, but how? What does it mean to impact and to decrease racism? How you can do it. So this is the answer how we can do it. This is the answer what we can do it, what we want to do, and this is the answer for question what we want to change in our society. So let's take a look for difference between these two projects. So International Kindergarten is for children of younger age, which is 4 to 6 years old, who are in private or public kindergartens. So our partners are mainly kindergartens. And Young Power in Action is for children from 4 to 12 years old. As you see, it's the same range, 4 to 6 years old, because of different partners. So partners in Young Power in Action are playgrounds, elementary schools, DAP, and I suppose you can find some other Greek words to explain who are our partners, like after school organizations or something like this. I know that there are some Greek words which I simply don't know, but for sure you got the idea of who is our partner for Young Power in Action. So there are different JDs for Young Power in Action, a little bit different JDs, independence of age. 4 to 8 years old have a little bit less advanced activities, and they don't tackle some stuff like gender equality. And 4 to 8 years old has a little bit more advanced JD. So in many points, these projects are similar. That was decision made that these projects, if they support the same SDG and the same target, there is no point to make them very different, especially that they tackle sometimes the same year-old children. So let's take a look now for job description. Here I present only weekly job description. In the spreadsheet that you can find 2 slides before, you can find whole day-by-day activities. And this is something what was not created previously, what we are now trying to focus on strongly. So keep in mind that when we are selling International Kindergarten or Young Power in Action, we are selling this job description. It's not about having to sell something under this EPs, for example, will be teaching languages or having presentations about, I don't know, about ecology, which is also a good point, but these 2 projects are not about this. These are 2 projects are about job description, which is presented here, which is divided by all 6 weeks, which is pretty much about getting to know countries. All these topics have interactive activities under it, so when it's food or paintings or some other stuff, it should be presented, and much more you can find in the spreadsheet. And last 2 weeks are so week 5 is about how is to be different, so a little bit more advanced topic about nationalities, about gender, something what is actually a summarized sum up of the previous 4 weeks, building this understanding that people from other countries, nations, races are equal. And in week number 6, Global Village event, Global Village celebration. So you know how we usually look for Global Village. Don't like when this idea of Global Village in week 6 is something a little bit different. It's to make Global Village within the partnership organization. So some event with children to present different cultures, countries. It is more explained in a spreadsheet, so take a look. But the general idea of it is to build this teamwork within even the youngest children, and for them to work together upon this topic, and to in play and fun way to present different countries, to know more about different countries, and to show it. So this is it about our 2 amazing projects, which are bringing us many exchanges, by the way. And now let's move to next project, which is NGO for Change. So NGO for Change supports SDG number 17. We had a long discussion about this, whether it should support goal number 17 or goal number 8, which is about decent growth and economic growth. Decision was made about goal number 17. Why? Because NGO for Change is mostly not to help organizations to contribute to Greek economy as it is, but mostly for NGOs to develop, and many of NGOs are organizations which are working only for sake of society, like for example refugees NGOs or others, and those are non-governmental organizations which in many cases are non-profit and don't actually bring changes to economy. So the goal is number 17, partnerships for the goals. Target is 17.16, enhance the global partnership for sustainable development. And how it was done, why we decided that this is how the project should look like, was because we saw the problem in Greece that more and big number of NGOs are closing or they don't serve the purpose for which they were established. So the problem is that it's very hard for NGOs to be to be alive in Greece because of many different issues, which one of them are lack of money, lack of support from government, lack of knowledge, and that organizations cannot keep up with trends, again, which is a lot depending on money and on fact that there are no actions by government supporting them, and no care for actual cause, which is in many cases either not knowing how they can support the cause that why they were established for, or again they need to do something else to get money, not to support their actual reason of why they were created. Check more under this link. So how looks design for impact? What we want to see as outcome, what we want to see as a change is number of NGO closing decreases. How? By us giving to an NGO opportunity to gain more technological experience and knowledge. So since we can bring them young people who are willing to work and know how to work with social media, with marketing, with digital marketing, etc. We can bring them this expertise. We can teach them how to do it. For example, one specific problem that NGO faces is that it's hard to get involved more and more volunteers, which most of them are focusing on. And in this can a lot help professional promotion, professional PR. That's something what we can help NGO with. So key activities is doing marketing activities and promotion, enhancing cooperation between similar institutions, and creating promotional materials. Enhancing cooperation is special JD, and it's very interesting about the fact that in countries where NGO function really well, there are organizations that help them to work together, to have this partnership, networking meetings, to support each other. And that's something what also we can do by providing them global volunteers. Job description for NGO for Change looks differently than for previous two projects. We don't have divided week by week and day per day activities because it depends a lot on needs of every NGO. While in previous two projects, it doesn't depend so much because it's all about children of the same age. So job description here is made in different ways. There are 3 different job descriptions. And attention in here, we do not sell any other job descriptions because from all our analysis, the result is only one, that it's very hard to provide, for example, IT EPs for NGO or many other. So our GDs are marketing and social media coordination, promotion, and network and fundraising. All of them support key activities which we are presenting here. You can read more in a spreadsheet, and especially you can see activities which we suggest to NGO to do with EP. Very important thing in this project is that when we sell NGO for Change, we need to make sure that partner get from us this list of activities, and partner know exactly how to, together with our help and together with EP, how to create JD for EPs. Because what we can face is, imagine an organization to which we come and say, okay, we will give you an amazing intern who will do for your marketing. Cool. He comes for 6 weeks, and how NGO, which never had anyone who did marketing for them, how they should manage them to have a work, to manage intern, to have a work for whole time. This is something what we should help them in. That's why we have whole described job description, and that's what we must do to provide quality experience both for our partner and our volunteers. And now time for questions. So I go out from here and I go to your questions. Yes, Lucas writes one very good comment. ITTNs for NGOs is never match. True, that's never match maybe. Yes, it's for IT because it's very the GD is very similar to IT GE, and obviously people prefer GE or GT, which is professional experience, and also for IT people, it's easy to find job in any field. So yeah, that's one of reasons why it's very hard to find people for this. So time for questions. If you have any questions, please write them down in comments. Okay, I see the screen is going a little bit crazy. but hopefully not. So I will wait for 1 minute for any questions. If there are no, then I proceed with next. Or maybe if you don't have any questions, just write I am OK, no questions, so I can go next. No answers anywhere. Do you want to explain a little more goal number 17 for NGOs? Okay, so it was two options. Either it's goal number 17 or goal number 8, which is about economic growth. On the one hand, change support economic growth of, because every development of every organization, even non-governmental or even non-profit, positively support development of country. On the other hand, we didn't find under SDG number 8, we didn't find a target that could be applied to our project. Because, for example, here, this target is something exactly what we can do. Enhance global partnership for sustainable goals. One of our GD is about partnerships. Also, the fact that ISEC works with NGO is also a partnership itself, and also volunteer with organization is a kind of partnership that supports NGO in its development and in its sustainable SDG alignment. We thought that partnerships for the goals is something more relevant, and especially because we didn't find related SDG target, we made a decision that SDG number 17 should be the one. Yes, but it was a little bit laggy. Yes, one more. Looking forward for one more question. About fundraising can be done alone. So if it comes to these 3 JDs, the last one is networking and fundraising. Yes, it can be done alone networking or alone fundraising. We made a review of how it looked like in ISEC in Greece in last semester, or what kind of opportunities we had, and fundraising opportunities were in many cases either not very efficient. So fundraising as a word means that this EP as a result should bring some funds to NGO, but honestly speaking, it's very hard in 6 weeks to really bring some funds, because in most of cases how they can bring funds is by applying for some grants or something, and these grants never last for 6 weeks. It's much longer process. So fundraising in itself, when they are doing only fundraising activities, is a little bit complicated. So we connected this with networking because it's, let's say, similar. By networking events, by communication with other NGOs within country and from other countries, we can get expertise, and we can also do the same process, but for fundraising. So if you have in list of activities which you can find in spreadsheet, there are like 20 of them, let's say. EP should contain at least some of them, like at least 7-10 of them. If your partner wants only fundraising, it's okay. You can combine JD and make it only fundraising activities inside. If you are 100% sure that and NGO is 100% sure that actually EP can be efficient in this, our suggestion is to combine it with networking. But yes, it could be separately only fundraising or only networking. Or we need marketing as well. No, if we talk about networking fundraising, then marketing is not in here. Preferably marketing is like any marketing activity is not in here. If a partner wants some fundraising, some networking, and some marketing activities, you can try to combine some of them. If you are using, again, activities which we propose in spreadsheet, then yes, it can be done. Just make sure that EP is clear when he does what, because 6 weeks is not so much time. And if you need to do any good promotion, it doesn't take only 1 week, it takes more time. Good networking on fundraising takes even more time. So to make sure that any of actions that EP will take will be efficient, we suggest to divide it like this, though it can be mixed. In previous JD, we sold marketing as one EP and then fundraising to use material from marketing, little back to back in order to have a full project. Cool. Something like this can be done as well. It's a good combination together. But then, as you just wrote, one EP is doing fundraising, the other one is doing marketing. Cool. They could be, if you can sell something like this, they could be even like 2 together, or 2, as you told, back to back. It's totally okay. It's not any different than any. Okay, it's not against what we propose. Yes. Cool. Tell me, Lucas, if you have any more questions. And anyone else? People are okay in here. Okay. Okay, Lukasmu, do you have any other questions? If no, we will go Mo next. Okay, I don't see any other questions, so we are moving. No, wait. I'm asking if fundraising can stand alone without marketing before. Yes, because fundraising, in many cases, it's, as I mentioned, about grants and or it's sales itself. It can stand without marketing. And for example, organizations, as I mentioned, have some issues with marketing in many cases because of lack of expertise or money for good marketing, but it doesn't mean that they don't do it at all. Most of them are doing something. So maybe if you sell to them fundraising, they have already this basement of marketing enough for you to run fundraising now. Cool. Okay, let's move forward. If you have any other questions in next round of questions after I finish, we will proceed. And any other questions will be answered in the end. So, any questions? And let's move. Hey, we finished the biggest part of our webinar, which is about product and portfolio. And now we go to global timeline, something super crucial and important, which in many cases we don't really care about. But it's something what we should care about if we want to deliver good experiences and if we want to deliver many experiences. So first step, why we need to follow global timeline is because of first and most important, supply demand management. So who studied anything regarding economics knows the supply and demand, what it is. Demand is our opportunities, how many opportunities we can provide, and supply is how many EPs we can expect to apply for our opportunities. So supply and demand in AIESEC works pretty obviously, depends on our EPs, how they are available. And from long and many analysis of global timeline, what we saw is that most of EPs, because of university timeline, are available for realization in January and December. Some of them, but much less in February. And if it comes to summer, it's June, July. June, July is peak, a little bit, much less in May, and very hard to find EPs in March, April. So you can understand it also when you think about your university timeline. Very similar it looks in many other countries. So based on it, we should do our projects. Why? Because yes, as Greece, we have pretty much always many candidates. But if you ever tried to approve EPs, you see that one candidate is not enough to, or 10 candidates is not enough to approve 10 candidates for this opportunity. We always need more. because someone will be already approved to another opportunity, someone will not be suitable for ours, someone will have visa issues, etc., etc. So we always need more EPs, more candidates than we have opportunities. So our need is to follow international timeline to be sure that we can approve all our opportunities and that we can have good EPs for it. Second reason why we need to follow global timeline is to have focus on one process. What does it mean? In many LCs, we run different processes in the same time, which makes it a little bit easier, let's say, to follow timeline. But when as VP or when as whole LC, you know that September and October are mostly for sales, and then half of October and November are only for approvals already. You know that it's easier to focus on something and it's easier to deliver actually good results. And what I told to VPs several times, if we don't approve till end of November all opportunities for January, in December it will be extremely hard. Why? Because 90% of people will be already approved. So we will have only those 10 who didn't manage, I don't know what, didn't manage to approve themselves. And also holidays and other stuff. So global timeline is very important for us not to lose this focus and to be efficient in what we do. And last and also very important is to ensure proper value delivery. What does it mean? Fulfill all standards. Our EPs, we need to approve EPs at least 6 weeks before experience to have everything perfectly done. Why? Because for many countries there are visa processes. As you know, it takes some time. All our IR partners are either with no visas or with simple visa processes, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't require time. Even buying ticket for a flight also requires time. Preparation for exchange. Imagine that today you are approved for project in 2 weeks, and which is on other continent. You need mentally to get ready for this, and you need to have some time for this, also for expectation setting with host, also for OPS, also to pay money, etc., etc. Get ready and other stuff. And the last one is for us to arrange accommodation. Imagine that you are responsible for global host and someone tells you that yesterday he approved 10 EPs which will come in 2 weeks. How in 2 weeks you want to find for them accommodation? That's something a little bit complicated. So our perfect situation is if we approve EPs 6 weeks before realization date, then we are sure that they will get visas, then we are sure that they will be perfectly prepared, that they will arrive on time, IPS will be on time, and that we will have good accommodation for them. So how looks the global timeline? Ta-da-da-dum. This is it. And why and how? Let's start from the end as backwards planning tell us. So December and January as seasons of the year tell us is a winter peak. Winter peak based on when most of EPs go on exchange, based on university timeline, and based on 4 seasons. It's winter. Then November and October in our case is an off peak. I don't add any more October because every 3 days. For October should have been done over here. Off peak means that for winter peak you can have normally 80% more applicants that you will have for off peak. What does it mean? Yes, we can open opportunities for November and October, but we cannot open as many as for this time because we will simply not find as many EPs. Even though Greece is a destination which everyone wants to explore and we always have a lot of candidates. Then what is our approval time? Since, as I just mentioned, 6 weeks before exchange would be a perfect for us. It's October and November. And November is a month which, out of statistics, shows that in November, 70% of people are approved for December and January. Some of them are, the further 20 are in October, and very, very few are in December. Latin America, for example, approved everyone already in September. They are very fast in it. So keep in mind, if you are PM of any approving team, if you do not manage to approve until the end of November, approving in December will be over complicated. And what is the focus now and what is the most important for us now in these last days of September is sales peak. Sales is our most urgent and most needed thing for now. September and October is a sales peak. In end of October is end of sales, and then we have 15 more days in November for last opens. What does it mean? We all know that after we finish sales process, then we need to sign contract, we need to wait for money. So we have this buffer of 15 days to open opportunities. But keep in mind that if you open opportunity on 15th of November, you will have 15 days to approve EPs, because end of November is end of approval peak. So our goal actually is to open everything till the end of October. And now looking on all of this, many questions which happens a lot around the network is, okay, why can't I not open in end of November? Why will you be so bad not to open opportunities in the end of November? If I can match, because I am Greece, I will always have candidates. So the answer is very obvious. Yes, you will have candidates, and it will be hard to approve in December, but you may manage it. It's possible. It's not impossible, but it would be very hard. But then, if in November to approve one EP, you will spend 1-2 days, in December it will take 5-6 days. It's much more complicated and takes much more time. And the other very important point, since value delivery is our key and is the most important process that we must deliver, is if you plan realizations in December and if you plan many realizations in January, you need to get ready for this. You need to make Skypes with all your EPs, get ready for IPS, send all documents for visa, and a lot of other stuff. If you continue approving in December, when will you do all of this stuff which you should do for January? Most probably never. So then you will approve in December, your EPs will maybe arrive in January, most probably they will arrive late, so it will be again a mess. And you will not have time to prepare well for realization. So when 40-50 EPs are coming to your LC, it will be what? It will be a disaster, because you could not spend time on preparing for this. You could not spend time on finding host, on preparing IPS, on preparing your members, your EP, your bodies, etc., etc. And also remember that in here we have 2 weeks break because of holidays, which means that pretty much it's very hard to execute any real work from people. So please, in September we underachieve our goal of opens a lot, pretty much every LC. Remember that there is no more time to be late with opens, because if we don't finish contacting partners and sales in end of October, there is no more time to deliver winter peak. There is no way we can contact for the first time any partner in November, because you know that it takes a lot of time for partner to sign, for partner to agree, to discuss everything. It's not gonna be possible to deliver good winter peak. I hope it's very clear, and if you have any doubts, when I was LCP, I met this problem a lot, that people don't really believe in timeline, and if I open 1 or 2 opportunities, it's not gonna be a very big problem. Come on, we can always approve. 1, 2, maybe. But as a network, and as we want to deliver more than 200 exchanges, actually almost 300 exchanges in winter peak, I don't see it possible. And I want every member of IGV in ISEC in Greece to understand that timeline is very crucial for everything. We have timeline in everything, in studies, in work. All corporations have timeline, all organizations have timeline, so they know that this thing exists. And 1 more frequently asked questions, but how we can push our partner to sign faster or to pay faster if we cannot push them by showing timeline, because they don't care. Well, they do care. If you come to them and say, look, if you don't sign till the end of October, it will be very hard for us to provide you the best candidate. Maybe we will not even find them. So please, this is our global timeline. Please be aware that the faster you sign, the more chances there are that we will find good EP for you. Organizations know what is a timeline as a concept. don't hesitate to use it. And this is it out of content. Yes, now time for questions. Good. Let's start with questions. I hope and I believe that there would be many of them. If there are anything unclear, especially regarding essence of our product and global timeline, if anyone still doesn't believe in global timeline or think that it's not a relevant sheet and why she's talking about this, write a question and I will for sure find some more reasons why is key for us. So looking forward for your questions. If there are no questions, again, write me please that you are okay and we can finish and go to have Thursday fun. No questions at all. Okay, please write please at least that okay, I am okay, good. Okay, anyone else? Oh, there is no one watching us. Okay, if everyone is okay and there are no questions, I am very, very happy. So it was my pleasure to run this webinar. If you are PM and your members were not here, or you are LCVP and your PMs or members were not here, I strongly recommend to show this webinar from the moment it works to your people. Or to run the same session with them. On our IGV functional folder, this presentation will be uploaded together with video today. So take a look and we see each other in next week. The next webinar about sales process will be on Wednesday. Tomorrow morning I will update on our group, ISEC in Greece group members, information about this with our. So thank you very much. It was my pleasure and have a great evening and sell people. Sell IGV people. That's the best time to do it, now or never. Thank you very much. Kisses.